Hello, this is Clara here, reporting from the trekking family. I have recently received an email from a reader asking if I had any tips for a first-time solo traveler, female solo traveler to be exact. But I feel like these tips and tricks kind of apply to anybody. And as a matter of fact, I have a ton. Well, okay, that's not true. I have four tips. And my first solo trip was to Peru. I did a month-long backpacking trip in Peru. Part of it was done with one of my friends, and it was an excellent experience. I learned a lot, and I'm going to share with you my top 4 lessons for safe traveling. Lesson number 1. Follow your gut. Your gut is an amazing tool that you are gifted with. The gut can tell you anything you need to know and can help you make a lot of good choices. When I was in Peru, I was staying in a hostel in Lima, and I was hanging out on the rooftop with a bunch of travelers. I think they were all European people, like French and Belgian. Anyways, and we were all hanging out. They were all drinking, like whiskey and Coke or something, and chatting. We all were having a good time. I eventually went to bed because I had to be up early to get to a different place. Anyways, so I went to bed and I didn't have a lock, so I kind of cuddled my pack that night. So I was sleeping with my pack in my arms, just having a nice time. And next thing you know, I get a little tap, tap, tap on my shoulder. I kind of like wake up and I look up and I'm like, dude, what? It was one of the guys I'd been on the roof with. And he was a little inebriated. And he was like, hey, do you want to cuddle? I was like, dude, no. I don't even want to cuddle a little bit. Go to bed. And he was like, okay. And he went to bed. I saw him a while later on the trek. He was coming back from Machu Picchu, and I had walked to Machu Picchu from Moyapata. Anyways, he looked a little abashed, but to his credit, he did ask permission instead of assuming. And as my friend's tattoo says, consent is sexy. So I do give him that credit. Anyways, follow your gut. I followed my gut. I did not drink, and I said no, and I was A-okay. Tip number 2. Don't get drunk, high, or do any other drugs while you are traveling. Especially if you are a solo female traveler. I cannot stress this enough. I was hiking the Salcantay trek with my friend, which, by the way, it's a really awesome trek. I have a couple posts about it if you want to read it so you can do it yourself. It's the only hike where you don't need a guide to get to Machu Picchu. Anyways, my friend and I were hiking it, and this tour group had caught up to us, and so we ended up staying in all the same places. And in one of the places, the tour guide was let me start over. In one of the places, the tour group had a huge party. There was Inca tequila, there was food, there was music, dancing, and general merriment. It was a very fun party. And as I love parties, I decided to partake. And I was dancing and eating food and having a generally good time. And one of the guides started getting really handsy and forceful and aggressive, trying to get me to join him in his tent and to sleep in his very fancy camping tent. And as I was not inebriated, I was able to forcefully reject his advances and tell him no, and make him go away. Eventually I was able to get into my own tent with my friend, and we both got a good night's sleep. We did not wake up drunk, and we had a nice day the next day. However, I know that drinking in other countries, say Spain, is a very cultural experience. People go to Spain, Portugal, Italy, France specifically for their wine. So if you're going to a country and you want to partake in drinking, do it. Just have maybe 1 glass, maybe 2. Don't overdo it. Don't get drunk. And don't drink things from strangers. It's just common sense. You've got to be smart, especially as a female traveler. There are jerks everywhere, and it takes one jerk to ruin your life forever. So keep that in mind. You've got to play it smart all the time. Lesson number Tres. 3. It is okay to say no. Say you're staying in an establishment or a couch surfing host's home, and they ask you for money, which is against couch surfing rules. You are allowed to say no, leave, and give them a bad review on couch surfing. They may not like it. They may retaliate by giving you a bad review in return, but it's good to warn other travelers. Also, if you are about to receive a ride or are currently getting a ride from somebody and you do not like the driver or the people in the car, feel free to reject the ride or get out of the car. It will not hurt their feelings, I promise. And if it does, that's their own problem. So feel free to say no to that. And if somebody is trying to coerce you into going to a party and is trying to separate you from your group, say no. Just say no. Even if they hold the world record for the longest slack line at the highest height, just say no. It's okay. It will ruin their ego temporarily, but they will recover. People with big egos always recover. And if somebody's offering you a drink that you don't want or food that you don't want, just say no. Just say no. It's okay. No is a powerful word and means a lot. Tip number 4 has to do with your being. Walk tall, keep your head up, and act confident. You are less likely to be attacked or robbed or harassed if you walk tall, keep your head up, and act confident. People who hurt other people generally go for the weak ones, and if you're looking weak, like looking at the ground, slouching, looking at your phone, looking at your map, they're more prone to go after you. So act confident. Even if you have no idea where you're going, just be confident. So far, this strategy has worked wonders in my life. I have been to New York City, Belize, Peru, Argentina, Portugal, Spain, Morocco, Canada, LA, Mexico, Honolulu, super populated, dangerous places, and I have yet to have a damaging experience. I do really well. I try to do really well with making eye contact and being as intimidating as I possibly can. The one time I have been robbed was when we were staying at a friend's family's house in Morocco, and Patrick and I left our packs in their house, and when we came back, our expensive Skullcandy Bluetooth headphones were missing. Mosquito. And that really had nothing to do with being out in public, though. We were just overly trusting and left some valuables in our packs, and somebody who passed through the house or the family stole our stuff, and that was a bit of a bummer because they were really nice headphones and had very good sound quality. But I would say that is probably one of the more important tips. Keep your head up. Long story short, traveling alone is exhilarating, amazing, empowering, and exciting. You will learn a lot about yourself. You will learn a lot about a culture, a country, about the people. You will make friends. You will have experiences that you won't have if you're traveling with a group. You're just going to have such a great time. There's a level of flexibility, and it's just the best. I love traveling alone, and I encourage you to do it, but I encourage you to take into account these 4 steps. And please leave me your comments, ask me your questions, and of course follow our channel. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.